What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast. I'm your host, Graham Powell. On this screen, this is Michelle Zangoulis on this screen. Say what's up, Michelle.
What's up, Michelle?
We're broadcasting live from an undisclosed location. And by live, I mean we're recording it and then you'll see it whenever we upload it. So, really not live at all. Anyway, before we get started, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor. The Tough Runs Don't Last podcast is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one-of-a-kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the Submit Results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be shipped to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section for t-shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can watch us on here. And follow us on X at TR Don't Last. And Instagram and TikTok. Same handle, at TR Don't Last.
We have been active on TikTok too, or Instagram. I asked if anybody had any questions that they would like us to answer.
Did you?
I did.
Did we get any questions?
No.
Okay. All right. This is feeling even more like a fun with flags segment. The more we get into it. I said that before we hit record, and yeah, we're going that direction. If you know, you know, Big Bang Theory reference. But anyway, we haven't seen you all in a couple of weeks. What did we talk about last time? Me doing pacing.
Yeah, pacing your races that would be like overnight, that you're not going to be doing overnight races. Like if you don't have to stay
Travel
overnight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I had one of those today. I did the Run the Line half marathon in beautiful Texarkana, Texas, and Arkansas. One of the rare opportunities where you can run in 2 different states. We started on the Texas side, ran through the Arkansas side, and then finished on the Texas side. It's a great race. They do a great job organizing. Just the race itself. It's a lot of fun. It's well done. It's a Grand Prix race, so a lot of fast runners. I had a PR today. Came in at 1:48:01. Is that what it was?
I don't remember.
Yeah, 1:48:01, I think. I saw the clock and it said 1:48, like as I was too far to cross. And I really didn't. My goal was only to sub 150. That was I did say that before. I was like, I'm going to try to sub 150. And you said something along the lines of what?
I said, don't throw up.
Okay. I did not throw up. In fact, I was tired, but I immediately went and got a Lost 40 beer from the lovely Hooters girls that were there, handing out beer. And got a new koozie, by the way. So get to add to the koozie collection. And then I went and got a burger. Actually went and sat down, saw my buddy Todd and his girlfriend, and hung out with them for a little bit. And then I went and got food after I finished my beer. But got a burger. The gal taught me you could either get a burger or a chicken sandwich, and and I couldn't decide because one of the people in my run club had a chicken sandwich and it looked good because I'd always gotten a burger and the chicken sandwich looked really good. And I couldn't decide. And she goes, "You can get both." And I was like, "Well, I don't need both." Then she goes, "How about a burger? And then I'll just put some chicken on the side." I was like, "That's perfect." So that's what I did. Very good. Got back to the hotel, which, by the way, shout out Holiday Inn Express for giving the runners of the half marathon a 1 p.m. checkout. That was a complete game changer. I didn't even get an award. I got 7th in my age group. So I can only imagine how, and I didn't have to rush at all. I could shower, I could pack, and I was out of there like 30 minutes early. But I can only imagine getting an award and having to wait for that and then go check out of your hotel. And because we all need a shower after that. So some people had a time crunch. I fortunately did not. So shout out Holiday Inn Express there. And yeah, it was a good race. It was cold, very windy. Wind was in my face the entire time up until like mile 12 when it suddenly started coming from behind me. And I was like, okay, this is great. If only we're like this for the bulk of the race. But it wasn't. And you just got to deal with the elements. That's part of running a live race, especially this time of year. And yeah, it was a good race. I overdressed, but I tend to do that. I would rather be too hot than too cold. So I had on a. What's funny is most of the like elite runners are out there in like a tank top, and that's it. I don't want to be that cold. It's just walking out of the hotel and imagine and getting out the car and thinking, oh, let me get to nothing but a tank top. I don't want to do that. I would rather be too hot than too cold. Had on a short sleeve tech shirt, had on my long sleeve, thicker, it's not a tech shirt, but it's winter running gear type of stuff. And it's a real tight fit. And then I had on my textile hoodie pullover from the Run Bentonville half marathon. And then I had my cruiser long sleeve shirt over
That's
that.
a lot.
Yeah, well, I wasn't cold.
Were you
And
hot?
I got a little warm during the run, especially toward the end. I got a little warm, and the gloves too. Like I had gloves. Glad I had gloves for most of the race. Toward the end, I was kind of regretting it a little bit, but I'd still wear the gloves if I had to do it again. Because I've worn gloves before, or I've gone without gloves before when it was cold out. It was in the 30s, by the way, mid 30s. It might have gotten to like 37 by the end of the race. But again, very windy and not fun if you're not moving. Because when we got finished and I cooled down, and I was inside of a tent with heaters, like those, whatever you call them, tower type of heaters. So and I had on the thermal blanket type of thing. Not blanket, what do you call it? The things they wrap around you after a race.
Isn't it like a thermal blanket? I thought it was a blanket.
Maybe. I don't know. I got one for Chicago, Little Rock, etc. And it was warm. Those are very warm. But when I had to go to my car, yeah, I was back in the wind. I wasn't moving anymore. I was still sweaty. I was like, okay, I'm getting cold. I need to go find my car. And this is the only race that I have trouble finding my car at times. I've done this race 4 or 5 times. I can't recall how many. But one time, it was a couple of years ago. I was arriving. I was running behind a little bit. At this point, I did it today too, and I'll talk about that. But I pulled up to a spot and had to get out. I basically had to get out and kind of run to the start. And so I didn't get a chance to really like, okay, where am I? Look around. I'm only in Texarkana for this race, so I don't know it that well, especially the old downtown portion. And it's kind of easy to get turned around a little bit if you don't know exactly where you are or parked. And it took me probably, this was like 2022, maybe. It probably took me 45 minutes to an hour to find my car. I was just walking around like an idiot, like, but like trying to not make it obvious that I was looking for my car.
Just looking at scenery.
Well, at a certain point, I was thinking, man, if I see like a cop, I'm gonna be like, hey, can we like drive around a little bit? Can you tell me? Because I did have to stop and ask these police, like, hey, where is toward the more modern part of downtown? And they told me. I did eventually find my car. Same scenario today. Which, by the way, side note, the other PR I got was the Capital City Classic 10K last March, yeah. And I had to run to the start for that. So basically, if I'm late to, or if I'm running behind to a race, I'm gonna do well. Apparently, I'm 2 for 2 on that. 2 for 2 on running behind and having to run to the start, and 2 for 2 on PRs.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'm getting my warm up in, if it's an adrenaline thing or whatever, but there might be something to that. Anyway, this time, going back to, it was the same scenario as 2022. I had to run to the start, and I was actually kind of parked in the same area as I was then. And after the race was over, I made it a point that when I was walking, I was like, okay, we've done this before. Where am I parked? It's got to be this way. So I walked that direction. I walked far enough to a certain point to where I can cut back in the direction I know I'm parked, and it gives me enough like blocks to see for sure, enough landmarks of where I probably am. Luckily, I ran into a guy who parked like right by me, who parked right by me in that spot because he had on a distinct like shirt. And I recognized it and I said, oh, he's going to this vehicle. I can just follow him. Man, this is awesome. I left out. And he starts to turn and he looks, and because I'm thinking we're further that way, and he turns a certain way and he turns and looks at me. He goes, man, I can't find my car. And I was like, oh no. I said, I was following you because I know we're parked by each other. And I said, I think we're this direction. So we walked that direction, and it was just a couple more blocks in that way. And I was right. I was like, okay, there's my car. There's the Altima, Billy Ruth Altima. So went to our vehicles and bounced. Um, yeah, I think that's when I sent you a screenshot of the my results. And got back to the hotel. Went full number two, showered, and why are you shaking your head?
We don't need to know your bodily habits.
Don't need to. I'm just giving everyone the inside scoop. But anyway, when you're in a hotel, you typically have, if you're in a decent hotel, you're going to get that long, like hot water that's forever, right? At least a lot longer than you'll get at home. So, man, I soaked that up. I stayed in the shower a good while, just taking in the hot water. It was excellent. And like I said, 1 p.m. checkout, I got to take my time, like getting ready, getting out of there, make sure I didn't leave anything behind. I try not to take, like, do you know anyone that's gone to a hotel, like goes to a hotel and actually uses the drawers,
I mean, I
the
do if
dresser
I'm
drawers?
staying for more than a night.
Really?
Yeah, I unpack.
So if you stay like 2 or 3 nights, you're gonna
I'm gonna unpack.
really, huh?
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to live out of a suitcase.
See,
Like
I'm
one night is fine. More than one night, absolutely not. I need to like, and most of the time I travel for work, so I need to hang my clothes up so they don't get wrinkled. And then if I'm hanging those up, I might as well put other things in drawers.
I'm just afraid I'd leave something behind. And I check the drawers even when I know I didn't put anything in there.
Mhm.
Just because I used to work at hotels too back in my college days, and I know that if you leave something behind, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but if you leave something behind, there's a good chance you're not going to get it back.
Oh, absolutely.
Housekeeping, they might see that and say, "Hey, this will look good on me or my daughter or something like that, or my son," and they'll take it to the house. Be like, "Nope, didn't find anything. It
Yeah.
got thrown out." I don't know if they do that anymore, but this was roughly 15 years ago. They did it then, at least in uh, Fayetteville, Arkansas. That's all I'll say. Lots of hotels there, so can't pinpoint that. Great hotels, but if you leave something behind, you're probably not going to get it back. Um, but yeah, and then I got in the car, and then I came here. Michelle watched my dog Dexter this weekend. So thank you again very much for that, for taking care of my 14 and a half year old dog who's sleeping right there,
Right here.
just snoozing away right now. So yeah, and now we're podcasting. Um, so yeah,
You had a race last week too, didn't you?
yes, I did.
You want to talk about that one?
That was the Valentine's Day 5K. It's been a long week. I'm in school. I'm back in school. and the days are just really long. This is how tired I was Friday when I got home from work. I had said I was going to go take a nap and then get up because I didn't, fortunately, the race was a Sunday race. So I didn't have to leave town as soon as I got off work or go to bed early that night, although I did. My plan was to, but I knew I was leaving Saturday, and the earlier I could leave, the better. So my plan was to go home, sleep from like 6:30 to 10:30 p.m., get up, shower, pack and shower and all that, and then go back to bed and then get up the next day and be on my way. My alarm went off at 10:30. I woke up and I turned the alarm off and said, "I'm not getting up. I'm too tired." And then my dog woke me up several times to go out throughout this period. But I slept from 6:30 p.m. to 9 a.m., 9:05 a.m. the following morning.
Wild.
14 and a half hours. I was in bed.
That's so long.
Like my back hurt. I was in
Yeah.
bed for so long, but it was so great. I felt so refreshed. And I had no trouble going to sleep last night. I mean, this is how tired I was. I went to bed. If I can get 5 hours the night before a race, that's a win. I think that's a good thing. Or I see that as a good thing. Yeah, I got like 6.5 hours of sleep last night. And I had as soon as I turned the lights out and laid my head on the pillow, I was out. So I was just tired. I'll try not to hit the screen there. Yeah, I was just tired. But anyway, Valentine's Day 5K in Russellville last Saturday. It was a good race. Not a PR, but 22:50, something along those lines where I finished. I finished where I should be amongst the ranks of people in my age group, etc. I'm one of the faster people in my run club this year, which is probably it's not a good thing, by the way. I mean, I'm in a probably what an above average
Yeah.
as far as speed, but not elite by any means. And if I'm one of the faster people in the club, I mean, you're in trouble. Now, having said that, we'll still probably do pretty well. We're not going to get first. I mean, we're not conceding, but we're not going to probably not going to get first. We're really going to be in a battle for second all year. But I don't know. We brought it today. I don't know where we finished, but we'll see how we did. But yeah, last weekend, Russellville 5K and police presence there again. If you know, you know. Just listen to the episodes leading up to this. Good race, and you met me in Conway for Stobies after.
Yes.
Correct. Yes, it was very good. I don't know. It was your kind of standard 5K. Other than it was like freakishly hot for February.
It was warm last weekend for sure.
Yeah, I was in a short sleeve shirt, not a tank top, but I was in a short sleeve shirt, and had no trouble staying. I I wasn't cold. I'll put it that way. It was unseasonably warm, very much so. Not the case today. It felt like February today. It was mid 30s and very windy, and it was in our face the whole time, or all up until the very end. So, yeah, to get a PR today, pretty cool.
Yeah. Good job.
Thanks. What's new in your world, Michelle?
Not a lot. I do the same things. I'm a creature of habit, so I don't have a lot going on. Just school.
I don't have a lot going on. I'm just in law school and I work full time.
Just trying to make it to spring break so that I get a little bit of a break.
Okay, before we get to that, I will show off the medal that I have around my neck today. The Run the Line medals are top tier. I love their medals. Like I said, I've got 4 or 5 of them. I think 4. I can't recall. I did it the first time in 2019 and the latest today. So probably 4. I'll go back and update my half marathon log total. Today was number 37 as far as half marathons completed. But yeah, this is the medal. Run the line. I love the white on the ribbon. And of course, they show love to the Arkansas and Texas side. And so, yeah, you got Arkansas here, and it's a spinner, and you got the Texas side there. And one thing I love, I think I love the most about their medals, look how thick this dude is. I mean, got some girth to it, heavy, top tier type of metal here. So, uh, 10 out of 10 as far as I'm concerned on the run the line half marathon medals. They never disappoint. I've had, like I said, I've got 4 or 5 of them, all awesome and all different. They're usually like square.
Mhm.
So this is a nice change of pace going to a circular one. I saw it at Packet Pickup yesterday.
It's nice. I like it.
Thank you, me too. But I wanted to show that off before we. Why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing.
Okay, all right. Well, inside scoop there on why Michelle's laughing. Um, I was gonna say you've got some news as far as
Oh, I do have some news.
running. I mean, yeah, you are
I do.
officially a participant in the Grand Prix.
I am. I officially joined.
Yay! Applause button, applause. Yay!
Yay. I officially joined the Fun Arkansas Run Team,
Fart team.
also known as FART. Um, so I officially joined that and then went ahead and registered for the Arkansas Grand Prix. Because I was already registered for 3 of the races. So went ahead and registered for that. I'm now officially registered though for 5 races. Which is the minimum that I have to do to be eligible.
Talk to them.
I can talk to you too.
Okay.
To be eligible for like
Awards.
an award that I will not win because my age group is a competitive age group and I am slow.
Some fast runners in your age
I'm
group.
very slow.
I know some of them. Yes, they're very, very fast.
So, it's just for fun and we'll
On
see how it
point with
goes.
the name of your club, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's to put the fun back in running.
You never know, though. I mean, there is a now. You do. You have to have done 5 races to be eligible for awards, and in some age groups, 5 will be all you need. But when you hit the 30 to 40s range, it's hard to. The more you do, the better.
Mm-hmm.
You really need at least 10. You need at least 5 championship and at least 5 non-championship races. And the more you do, the better your odds are going to be because how you score in one isn't necessarily going to be the same as how you score in another. And they only count your top 10 scores, top 5 championship, top 5 non-championship, combine those scores, and that's where you finish in the standings as far as overall age group, masters, etc. I'm in the masters division, by the way.
Because you're old.
Yes, I mean I was last year too, because that was the year I turned 40. They base it on your age group is because it's a year-long series, so they base it determine or it's determined by how old you will be by the end of the season. So, what are you looking at your
My cat
over
looks
there?
like he's sleeping standing up. And
He
he's like
does.
wobbling.
He does. He is wobbling. Really wobbled right there. But yes, Michelle is in law school and still and continuing to run or not run, work. But yeah, she is participating in the Grand Prix this year.
I am. And I'm registered for 3 non-championship and 2 championship right now.
All right, when is your first when is your first race?
A couple of weeks away. 3 weeks away. It's the week after
Chase race?
Yeah, chase race in Conway. So it's the week after
3 weeks.
the Little Rock Marathon.
Yeah, it's in 3 weeks.
I still don't think that I have any in a row. I think I get a break between all of them. at least.
Yeah, there are 22 races this year, so
So,
I'd be surprised if you have some that are back to back.
the March there's two. I have two in March.
Back to back.
No, there's a week in between
Okay, so
because I have the
spring fling
and the
and chase race.
yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's
There's
a
a
week,
week between.
yeah, it's a week between.
And then June or April, June, August.
It's the August one.
The isn't that when the 2 mile is? I think it's the 2 mile. The June is the
Yeah,
solo,
you're right.
and then
Hope is in August too, so I was thinking maybe it was that one.
oh no, I'm not registered for that one.
Okay, you should. It's a fun one. A lot of people there. That's the one where I crossed the finish line and somebody had thrown up, like right past the finish line.
Gross.
Well, it's a lot of cross country kids, and it's a state championship race for us, but also for them too. And it's just combined. We're all together, and yeah. So I mean, those kids, the elite ones, they run hard. I mean, they run hard so much so they vomit at the
Yeah.
finish line. And no, I was really tired because it's August. It's in Arkansas. It's hot. It was really hot. I crossed the finish line, super tired, and just looked down and saw vomit, and it just made me chuckle. I was like, "Ha!" I just went and got my watermelon and water, and they had cooling towels too. That was nice. Took one of those, put it on my head and on my neck. It was great.
I did like I'm walking the Little Rock Half Marathon last year. When someone handed me one of those, I was very happy because it was humid. It wasn't hot at last year's like marathon, but it was humid.
Yeah, I had short sleeves and shorts on.
Yeah.
It was the first year of the early start. Oh, because it was gonna get really hot,
Yeah, it was gonna get hot, so
and they were right on too. Like they were spot on with when it was gonna get hot.
mm,
Because we were hanging out in the expo after me and my brother and crew, and then we walked out to go home, and it was blistering, like not blistering, but it
yeah,
was stupid hot and humid to be running a marathon in. So they knocked it out of the park as far as scheduling early, and then they were like, "Hey, this is a good idea. We're going to start doing this from now
yeah.
on." So that's what we're doing. That's the thing. Grand Prix. It starts off with 4 races in a row. I've done all 4 of those, and I get the rare weekend off from running next. I got to quit doing that. The rare weekend off from running next weekend,
Mm,
and then the week after that, pacing, pacing the Little Rock Marathon.
ooh, fancy.
Yeah, so get to do that, and then chase races after that, which is that's the next Grand Prix race. It's called the Chase Race. It's in downtown Conway. It's a 2 mile race, and they even have a 1 mile race with that you can do with your dog after that. My 14 and a half year old dog, he's not doing that anymore. He's retired from running. Um,
My 8-year-old dog is just not interested in that.
Great Dane, by the way.
Yeah, he's so for Great Dane, for those that don't know, 8 years old is
Usually the max.
they on average live like 5 to 8 years. He's doing great though. He's very healthy. I'm surprised he hasn't come to say hello, but
I am too, actually.
he is not
Midnight.
he is not
Shouldn't have done that. He
a
might knock this over.
mile thing.
He's not,
Midnight.
he's not a mile thing.
Yeah, he doesn't want to. Is he outside? Did we leave him outside?
I don't know. He wanted to go out earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what's next. As far as training goes, I had a really good week of training this week. Got my Wednesday and Thursday runs in inside the fitness center at my work. Ran hard both times. Was happy with it. It prepped me for today. Obviously, got a PR. Can't argue with the results. And was he just back there sleeping?
Yeah, he's just in his room
Okay.
sleeping.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep it up. I'm gonna be as ready as I can be for one pacing in a couple of weeks, and the chase race, which is around the corner. I don't think I'm going to do anything different as far as how I'm going to train. for a 2 mile race.
I was gonna say, is that just 2 miles or is that a 5K?
No, chase race is a 2 mile race.
That's
I
what
mean,
I
it's
thought.
it's exactly 2 miles. It's a down and back in downtown Conway, around just downtown Conway, like old downtown. So just a down and back, very fast race. Before you know it, you're done with it. I get more. I wouldn't say nervous. I don't even know if it's. I get more nerves for that than I would a half marathon, just because you're just kind of going all out. Um, last year's chase race was the first time I had done a 2 mile race since high school, and that was what I did in track was the 2 mile run. But that was only 20, years ago, 20 plus years ago. So I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to see how it goes, and it went well. It went pretty well, and yeah, I'll aim to either beat. I guess I'll aim to beat last year's time. It was 14 something, low 14s, like 14:11, 14:07, something along those lines.
I'm gonna go with 25.
Okay, that's a good goal.
I did the well. I was thinking like I did the mile last year in 12 something.
Yeah, the Wildcat Extra Mile. Yeah.
Yeah. So 25
Okay, I think that's a good goal to have. Now, are you going to try to jog the whole thing or
No.
intervals? Okay.
intervals.
All right. Well, I'm going to run the whole thing and run it pretty hard and um, see how I do. But I look forward to that. But I look forward to pacing. Um, I guess we'll be doing the next episode that day, right?
I mean, I feel like it's gonna depend on how you're feeling.
It's a as of now I'm pacing the 5 hour and 30 minute group, and that's pretty slow for me. I ran my last marathon in December in 4 hours 22 minutes, and that's because I stopped and pooped for 20 minutes. And then at that point, I realized I wasn't going to break four, so I just kind of scaled it back a little bit. I was like, well, I still want to beat 4:30, so I made sure, but I realized I was going to do that, so I just ran basically, like semi comfortable but still moving pace. So 5:30, I'm going to be out there having fun, unless I get moved around. I'm in a flexible spot, and I told him, I said, the pace captain said, just move me where you need me. I would love to be in like the 5 hour group. That would be kind of perfect. Plus, I know the two pacers in that group, so that would be a lot of fun. But as of now, yeah, in the 5:30 group, and I'm cool with that. I'm not complaining, by the way. I'm just saying, I literally said, put me wherever you need me. Just if I could pick, that's where I'd go. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it either way. I As much as I love doing this, and I do love doing it with my whole heart, I do look forward to having a weekend off from competition next weekend. Um, Mainly because I got a lecture exam to study for, but I'll spend the week leading up to it doing that and absorbing as much as I can next weekend too. Um, Next weekend, I've got a lab exam, so I will be heavy into appendicular parts of the skeleton this week. I'm excited about that.
I have a midterm in family law where we talk about
Family law.
family law, but
Nailed
we're going over constitutional um like the constitutional reasoning behind being married and getting married and what's legal and also things like in an engagement, if you call off the wedding, who gets the ring? Like the legality behind that. So that's what my midterm will be over.
There's legal stuff around
There
that.
is. It's considered, in most states, it's considered a conditional gift, which means that if the condition is not met, you have to give the ring back. Or that's at a no fault state. In an at fault state, whoever's at fault for the breakup, they don't get it back. So, like if the guy is at fault, the girl keeps it. If the girl is at fault, she has to give it back.
Well, the one time I was engaged, it was a mutual breakup. She was like, I think I'm about ready for us to be done. I was like, you know what? I am too. Like, it's about time. Give me the ring back. And she went and then gave it to me, and that was that. That was like one of the few things we didn't fight about. Was like, yeah, here you go. So I still got the thing. I actually know where it is, mainly because I was organizing some stuff. And I was like, oh, that's where that is. So yeah, it's been sitting in a folder for in an envelope inside of a folder for however long that's been. Long time.
Yeah. Well, that's what my midterm is over. So, and I have a quiz tomorrow on property. I haven't read for that, so I don't know if that quiz is over yet.
See, like on the way, which by the way, the trip to Texarkana yesterday, from here where you live to there, which is an hour and a half away, it rained the whole time. And I'm talking like a third of the drive, I had my flashers on. That's how hard it was raining. My car looks super clean right now because that's how hard it rained the whole time. It was dry today, and really the ground was dry. Like it was, I was surprised at how dry the ground was. I mean, of course, there were wet spots, but I wasn't like running. It wasn't like I was on a trail run or anything. It wasn't like the back 40 trail race I did. It was for as much as it rained, I was surprised at how dry the course was. But run the line every year I've done it has been wet. Like the ground has been wet. So it's just the time of year is all it is. Um, so yeah, but yeah, good weekend. Good weekend of well, what I was going to say was I listened to I tried to listen to like I can pull up like my lectures like that because they all kind of follow the same stuff. Like the PowerPoints, they have the same PowerPoints for other schools. So I've looked up lectures on that, and I actually listened to it on the way to Texarkana. But it's not the same. I mean, you absorb some things, but if you're not watching it, you can only do so much. Because I tried doing that with the appendicular skeleton, and I was like, well, I can't look and see what they're talking about, so it's kind of pointless to be doing this. So today on the way home, I switched to a Spotify podcast. So, and now here we are, present time. Um, belly's full from some bolognese that Michelle made, which was excellent, by the way, 10 out of 10.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. It was awesome. I've been hungry today. I mean PR, so yeah, burned 2,000 plus calories. So yeah, been hungry. But yeah, it's a good day, good weekend, and here we are podcasting. We'll be back, I'm sure, in 2 weeks, and I'll get to talk about the Little Rock Marathon because that's all I'll have going on between now and then. But Little Rock Marathon is always a party. It's always a good time. You can still register. It's expensive. Why are you making that face?
Some of the races have sold out, so
Oh yeah,
you
no.
can do the half and the full. The 5K sold out. The 10K is very close.
Yes, yeah. 5K sold out. 5K and 10K are done on. It's a whole weekend thing in downtown Little Rock. 5K and 10K are Saturday mornings. The half marathon and marathon are Sunday, and yeah, so it's a weekend ordeal. I used to do both days. I used to run both days. I don't anymore. Now it's and now well, this is the first year I'm pacing it, but I'm pretty much just do Sunday races now. Excuse me. But yeah, I'll be back. We'll be back and we'll talk about the Little Rock Marathon in 2 weeks. Always a fun race, always well done. People from everywhere come to run this race because of the medal size. Look them up, Little Rock Marathon, Facebook, littlerockmarathon.com, whatever. Check out their medals. I mean, it's like it. It's like having a heavy dinner plate basically around your neck, is what I compare it to. Always beautiful. And it really is cool when you cross that finish line after running a marathon, especially if you haven't. I got to quit doing that. Especially if you don't do many marathons and you get that massive medal that they put around your neck. It's a pretty awesome feeling. So it'll be a little pricey at this point in the registration process, but they are still taking registrations for the marathon. You can even sign up the day before at the expo. Um, I will be one of the pace captains on Friday, like present at the expo, Friday and Saturday. I'll be there for 2 hours Saturday and an hour Friday. So come by and see me. And yeah, sign up if you haven't already. And if that's your thing. Or if not, give it a shot. Could be fun. You might like it. You might fall in love with it like I have. But that's all that's new in my world. Michelle's world, I assume. I don't know anything you'd like to add, Michelle.
No, I ain't got nothing.
As much as I appreciate Texas, I'm going to flip this to the Arkansas side.
That's been bothering me the whole time since you put it back on.
See, it started on the Arkansas side, and in the picture I took did have the Arkansas side. But I figured, man, I'm going to show some love to the Texas side for this half of the episode.
No.
Okay, well, I'm fine with it. But I am closing on the Arkansas side. All right. So I guess we'll get out of here. Again, nothing to add, nothing else to add here. Michelle,
No.
dogs, cats, nothing. All right. Well, this is the Tough Runs Don't Last podcast. I'm Graham. That's Michelle. See y'all next time.
See ya.